So today we will discuss about the concept of buffer. See, already we have seen the buffer concept, but that is not enough. So it is very detailed concept and it is very huge concept that you have to know. And there are a few standard modules are there in TOSCA that we will discuss in this session. So buffer means, see, we already know the definition of buffer, right? It is a temporary storage which is used to store any values or any number or any content, right? And it is used to store the specific content and can also be used or reused, correct? So I'm writing here definition because it is a it is very important in interview purpose. So that's why they will ask what is a buffer. So you should say this definition. It is a temporary storage which is used to store any value or any number or any content. Okay. And it is also used to store the specific content. Sorry. And can also be used or reused. Okay. So what is the syntax of buffer? Did you remember? Syntax. Number of times we will discuss about the syntax.
Curly bracket B and whatever the variable name, the box bracket. Yeah,
Yeah, close. So what you will give this in square brackets, name of the buffer, right? So if the interviewer asks you what is the syntax of buffer, you should say, I will write in chat box. Then uh, please uh, uh, please mention this syntax in chat box. Okay. And so whatever we have learned, it is something about static buffer. Then straight away you will get one more doubt. What is the doubt? If there is a static buffer, obviously the opposite side of the point, you will also be having something called the dynamic buffer. So there are two kinds of buffers. Okay, two kinds of buffer. One is static buffer, another is dynamic buffer. Okay, so let us understand one by one. First, what is static buffer? So first of all, static buffer in the sense, see, don't think from the point of view that you are storing only the fixed values, like it might be even a random values, but static in the sense which is not generated by the application. So you yourself are generating few values, those are static. So don't think from that point of view. If my name is Afros, it might be a static. Even if I generate a random regular expression to generate a name, it is static because I'm generating some specific value and give it and giving to an application. When I will be saying dynamic from point of view is in the buffer point of view is in case if the application is generating some values itself. For example, you have an automated than any two-end test cases. I mean, in the end-to-end test cases completely. Once you complete the purchase of the last, you are able to see the order number, right? Um I have sent the screenshots of uh, what end-to-end test case, right? There is a order number. They generate the different order numbers, right? If you purchase one product, they will generate one number. If you purchase the same product also or different product also, it will generate the another number, right? So you have not used random declare expression to generate that value. So application itself has used some random values to populate, means to buffer that kind of values, to buffer the dynamic content which is generated by the application. So that is called as dynamic buffer. So now you will not understand when we practice, right, when we doing a practical, then you will know that. So first thing, let us know what is static buffer. So whatever the values that you are generating, which is not by application, we being a humans, either it is a predefined value or any regular expressions on any random regular expressions. If I'm trying to generate those kind of values, I will be making use of this static buffer. So static buffer means there are some standard modules. So first of all, we know that this is a static buffer syntax. Okay. And under this static buffer syntax, we have three modules. One is tbox, set buffer. Another one is tbox, name to buffer. Another is tbox partial buffer. Okay. So go back to TOSCA. I will show you. This is the module section. It says a standard module tbox automation tools. There is a buffer operation. You can see that tbox name to buffer, delete buffer, set buffer, partial buffer, what I have mentioned in the notepad, right? And and we are using the standard modules and we are using in test cases like static buffer. Okay. And now I'm going to create new test case. Mm, buffer operations. I'm giving a name. So first we will use tbox set buffer. Okay. So I'm using this tbox set buffer. I'm going to drag and drop into buffer operation test case. Okay. So till now, how you have created buffers? You have gone to the respective test case, and you have gone to the control and then use cardinality to buffer the values like you have buffered on the control itself. You can see that there is a best practice in that steps and verification. See, right? So this is the actually whatever you have seen the best practice test case, you buffer it. So this is the advanced way of using the buffer on the control itself. I mean, you are buffering with some into some variable. But the traditional way of using the buffer is by using the T box set buffer. So let us see. So T box set buffer is there. So buffer name, I will give a name. I will give my name itself. Let's see. And I'm giving the input. Okay. I'm saying to TOSCA, please store the value of rows into variable name. So my variable name consists of value of rows. In a similar way, I can also generate whatever I want. So let us say, uh, so I want to store the value in mobile number. Like this is buffer name is mobile number. Okay. Mobile number. And I want to store the value like any number you can give. Okay. And action mode is input. And you can also use a random expressions also you can use. like dynamic value. So what is that syntax of random text caps? Random text, right? Random text. I want to generate 8 numbers. There is an input. So it is a traditional way, like there is no end. You can use as many number of variables and you can continue to store as many values. So the basic use of standard module tbox set buffer is if you want to store any value, you can store by specifically mentioning whatever you want to store. And simply you can also just view the name of the variable into which you want to store. For example, I want to store a string. Okay. And I want to generate a very big content like I am in TOSCA class. Um, Start at something like 11 a.m. and I use go to meeting to join the class. Right? There is a very a big content. I used to go to meeting. Okay. So there is some content. If you also want to store this content predefinedly into a particular variable, so you can also use this. Now I have just made some uses of the standard module to store all these values. Now you can directly ask me, I have stored, right? So can I check them in the buffer where? Let me check. Is there any name like name, mobile number?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mobile
it's
number
there.
is there.
Yeah, name is
No,
there.
no, no.
Yes.
Name is there.
No.
Yeah, name
Yeah,
is
And
there.
mobile
Mobile
uh,
number
number.
and variable the string up. Yes.
is there
Everything is
any
the
And
string
string?
is there.
dynamic
Yeah,
below the
string is
dynamic
there.
value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eight. Yes, eight.
So
Fine.
everything is there. Just a minute. I'm getting a call. Just a minute. Okay. Sorry, guys. So in buffer here, already we are seeing, right? So there is a name, there is a mobile number. Mobile number is there. Actually, I have given a different number. No, actually, so whatever you are seeing, right? This is not current buffer viewer. So just see, name is a Afros. Okay. Okay, let me just give something
Okay, it is the old data. Okay.
old
While
data.
you run,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Just see. Is there any Bhagya? Or is there any mobile number is there, but the mobile number is different.
Yeah, it's different. Even the string information will seem different.
Yeah. See, whatever it is, there is a previous data, but not current data. But so here we won't be able to see now. Then what I will be able to see I mean, if I want to see the buffer viewers, you need to execute this until unless you execute the standard module tbox set buffer, the values will not be stored. Okay. So like I'm going to execute this standard module, run in Scratchbook. It was. Now see, name, Bhagya, mobile number 9246863020. And where is the content? See, I am in the TOSCA 11 a.m., right? Whatever I have mentioned the time, it is there. And dynamic value, it is random text 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 characters, correct? Now you can see the
Yes.
values, right? So you should execute this uh, test case. So after that only you can see the values, whatever you have stored in the variable name. So you can, uh, the values has been got stored into your workspace, right? By using the standard module, you can store, save as many values you want, whatever the content you want. Okay, clear? Tbox set buffer, how we are using.
Yes, clear.
So the next module is tbox name to buffer. Let me just use this one. I'm going to take this into my test case. Okay. So in tbox at buffer, sorry, tbox name to buffer. Uh, so what is the use of this standard module? By using this tbox set buffer, what we have done, we have just stored the values into some variable. But by using this tbox name to buffer, we are going to store the name of the test case into a buffer. What is the name of the test case?
Buffer operations.
Buffer operations.
Yes, right. I'm repeat it once again. By using the standard model tbox name to buffer, you are going to store the name of a test case into a variable. So why do I need to store the name of a test case? If an interviewer asks you, how do you store the values? So you will say tbox set buffer or by cardinality. I will just change the action mode to buffer and I will use the variable. But if we also ask you, how do you store the name of a test case? For example, already we knew how to take screenshots, right? Tbox takes screenshots. We will take screenshots in our test cases and we are going to place all the screenshots at one place. So daily you will be executing the same test case, right? So your screenshots will be created with screenshots 1, 2, 3, 4. But how but how do you differentiate? and identify which screenshot is for which test case. Suppose you have executed 100 test cases. In each test cases, if you are having one screenshot step, 100 screenshots will be coming daily. And how come will you differentiate and or how come will you find that these screenshots belong to this test case? So naturally, what we will be doing, forget about automation. When we trying to take some screenshot or trying to store a particular file, we will create or save the file with the name of the content. So that is easy for us to remember. In the same way, if I also want to take a screenshot or save it with the name of the test case, so I need to get the name of the test case, right? How do I get the name of the test case stored? By using this standard module tbox name to buffer. So, and in the, in this name of the, this is the name of the test case is stored in a variable. So, how do you do that? So, there is a tbox name to buffer, and this you can see the buffer. So, I am writing here test case storage. I'm just giving a value name, okay? Test case storage. Let me just not give you space. This is my input, okay? So I am saying to TOSCA that please store the name of a test case into a variable called test case title storage. So what is the name of test case? In this variable test case title storage, my name of a test case will come unstored, right? And what is the name of a test case? Buffer operations. So buffer operations is my name of the test case, and I am asking to TOSCA, please store this content buffer operations into this variable. Okay. Let me just try to disable this one because we are not using this right now. So disable this one. Now I'm going to execute this directly, run in Scratchbook. It is pass, right? Let me just check the value. Buffer with name test case title storage has been set to the Scratchbook. Let me just buffer your test case title storage. There is a Scratchbook. What I'm saying? In buffer operation is a title. So I want to store the title of the test case in test case title storage name. This is my expected result, right? And what is the actual result? In test case title storage, what is the value that is stored?
Scratchbook.
Scratchbook. But uh, what I want actually?
Buffer operations.
Buffer operations. Now the point you need to understand is tbox name to buffer will not work in test case section. Okay. So when you run in the Scratchbook, it will not work. So I will tell you the difference between execution and Scratchbook. So you have to execute this. If you want to store the title name, test case title name in some variable, then it will not work in test case section. It will work in execution section. There is execution section, right? So what I'm doing here, just I'm going to drag and drop this buffer operations. Okay. And I will take you into execution list. Am I currently doing that? right? So now always this tbox name to buffer will be working from the execution section. Now I'm going to give it a right click and there is a option called run. So I will tell you about what is execution section. How do you we create it? Later we will discuss everything in for the session. So just understand from this point of view. I'm just executing this and it will pass. Right now, see this. What happened? For operations is there, right?
Yeah, it's there.
Test case title storage. So whenever the interview asks you, how do you store the name of a test case? And if I execute it in a scratch book, will it work? This type of questions they will ask you. Okay. You should answer very um, attentive and very correctly. Okay. So what whenever you want to store the title of a test case, then it will not work in Scratchbook. It will work in execution section. So we'll in one section we will discuss about execution section. Okay, right now just understand this concept. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Uh,
And
so in
another
this
start.
case,
Sorry.
when you mentioned when it took the scratch book as a title name, so from where it is to can you repeat that again?
This
I
is the
I
scratch
just
book.
I, okay,
So when we execute the this test case box name to buffer, so it will take the name of scratchbook, this section, okay? So it will not work in test case section. When I execute through scratchbook, uh, I mean this in test case section, it will think like, okay, I'm executing this test case, but it will not think in title of a test case. It will think like it will take in. I mean, we have to give the instructions, Kiran. So it will
okay,
take the name of scratchbook. Okay, but when you store the title of a name, you will execute in execution section. Then only it will work. Okay,
okay,
just
okay,
don't be
okay.
confused.
Hmm.
Whenever they ask you how do you store the name of a test case, then you should say like it is possible, but not in Scratchbook. It will work in execution section when I'm execute the test case. Okay, just say this answer.
Okay,
Next, third one is T-box partial buffer. I will take this one into my test case. So it means get the partial value stored from one buffer. In a simple way, we can say already one buffer is there. Inside there is a content. Okay. And in that content, if you want to get only the partial value, for example, there is a content, right? I'm just going to copy this one. Okay. So one buffer is there. So there is a content, and in that content, if you want to get only the partial value, for example, this one or this one, anything you can take. If you want to get only the partial value buffered from one buffer, then you will be using the standard module called tbox partial buffer. So it is content in buffer or else content is in static value. For example, interviewer, let us say there is a string or a text message. They will give some content and ask you, I want to get the only this content stored. So what you will do? I will be making use of the standard model tbox partial buffer. We will see and learn how to use this tbox partial buffer. And what is this module containing? There are different attributes like see there is a white color also and there is a green color also. So white color white color, it is not mandatory, but green color, it should be, we need to fill the details. It is mandatory. So what is the first attribute? So buffer. So I want to give a partial something. Value is partial buffer. Okay. And it is input. So buffer name is partial buffer and value, you have to give a value. So T box at buffer, you can see this is the buffer name and you are giving a value. But here you can see this is a buffer name and here there is a value. In there you can see side by side. And here see first is partial buffer name and this is value name. Value. Okay, you have to give something like content. Okay. And I am going to copy this content. I'm pasting here. Okay. So there is a content here, is a string or you can say text message. If you want to specific value or only a partial value from a particular content. Okay. Maybe that content is in buffer. Maybe that content is in static value. Anything. So for example, I want this something like TOSCA, TOSCA class. Okay. Let me just give, this is TOSCA class, right? So you need to check the which column. I mean, which this is one, right? One, two. So there is a space also. You need to consider that space also. See, here there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, right? You can also check this. Just place that cursor and see that line, that character. What is that number? Here,
13.
you can see that
Yeah.
13,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the starting one is 13 and we need to, now what is the number?
24.
24.
Yeah, you need to mention 24. So this one last, leave it, I will tell you later. So 13 to 14. Okay. So I'm saying to Tosca, one content is there. That content is present in a buffer. You take the content and get me the value starting from 13th position and ending at 24th position and store the new value into one more buffer called as partial buffer. Okay. Just run in Scratchbook. It will pass. Let me just check the buffer viewer. Something is got missed. So you need to
It's
give,
because when you when in text 12,
yeah, something we are not giving a proper number. Let me just try to run in Scratch. Now see, right?
Yes, yes, I
This
got it.
partial, there is a TOSCA class, right? So what is the use of this attribute called last? And when we will be using this? See, just remember, if you use start end, we don't use last. If we use end, I mean, sorry, if we use last, so then we don't use start end. Okay. If you are using start end, we don't require last. Or if you are using last one, so don't use start end. Okay. Only one. I'm just giving, I'm giving, going to delete these values. Let me just see if there is a content and I want to get a specific value starting from this position to this position, or I want to get a particular content and then you use start end for particular value to determine. For example, there is a content I want to get the last 15 digits or last 10 bytes. Or if I want to store only the last 10 digits in that particular value, how do you do that? For example, say that there is a something like last 10 digits. Just think about it. Last 10 digits, I want to buffer it, but you have to give the another number. So there is a content and content is present in a buffer and that name is a string. Okay. And I want the last 10 digits and that 10 digits take the store into this partial buffer. I'm giving underscore one. Okay. Let me just execute this partial buffer. The last 10 digits executed the class, right? Correct? Clear, guys?
Yes. So it will take the space also, right?
It will take space also.
The order it will take from the numbers from uh, S it will take as a one and then next S as two like that, or how will it take from last to it will go on towards
Will
the first,
last
right?
10 digits. If
Okay.
you if you want, that's why I'm saying. Uh, I mean, I want to get the last 10 digits or 15 digits. I want to store only last one, not initial one. If you want to initial one, you have to use start end. Okay, start end or in between of the content you want the store value in some variable name, then you should use start end. But in the last, you don't need to um, count the characters. So if in case in the scenario there is I mean this content you want join the class, this is the last content, right? Then go away and straightly you can use this last attribute. Okay, but in case if the initial one or in the middle of the content you want it something, okay, then straight away you go and use it start end. But whenever you use start end, so don't use last. But whenever you use last, don't use start end. It won't work. Okay? Because it will confuse.
Hmm. Okay.
Clear?
Yes, clear.
And another module is called tbox delete buffer. So I'm going to this standard module, which I mean is used in order to delete a buffer. If you want to delete a buffer specifically, you can do it. Okay, I'm using this one in my test case. So, for example, I want to delete the buffer any name specifically, then we can just copy the buffer name, anyone. Mm, for example, this one I don't want. Okay, I'm going to use this one. So choose anyone. If you don't want any buffer name, if it is just here in just, I mean, if you don't use any buffer name or buffer value, then you use this bar. You can go and use this standard model and delete the buffer. So copy and paste the buffer value and delete it here. Uh, just to select action mode is going to select. Okay. And next, let me just execute this one. It will pass. Is that there? Whatever we deleted. No, right?
No, it's not there.
So we'll take another one. Can I take this one? Partial buffer one. Okay. Random scratch book. It's there. No, right? Partial buffer one.
No, it's not there.
So if you want to delete all the buffers in your system or workspace, how will you do that? I'm specifically deleting this buffer one by one. But I'm telling you, I'm asking you if we want to delete all the buffers in our system, how you will do that? So there are 100 buffers, buffer names, and I'm telling you delete all 100 buffers. Then what you will do? Like you need to mention one by one, right? F underscore name, L underscore name, email ID, password, name. So one by one you need to delete. But there are 100 buffer names or 500 buffer names. How you will delete at once? Just no need to do anything. You can delete all buffers without mention any value in delete buffer and then run it. It will delete all buffers. So just go. Don't give any value. Go and just click on this run in Scratchbook and it will delete all buffers if you not mention any specific value, buffer value. I don't want to delete because I want to use this buffer names in further. So um, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So if you want to specifically delete the buffer, then you need to mention buffer value. If you don't want any buffers in your workspace or in your system, then don't give any value. Just go and simply drag and drop the standard module into your test case and just run in Scratchbook. Then you can see you can delete all buffers at once. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the static buffers and what is tomorrow? Tomorrow we will see dynamic buffers. Okay. So after that, we will see Excel operations. So Excel operations is there. There is that Excel operations. So here there are a few Excel operations and there are there are few of the Excel operations are important. I will tell you how to use that. And okay, we'll see in the next session. Okay. Now practice this static buffers. And next, we'll see dynamic buffers.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Kiran and Rajesh.
Yes.
So tomorrow I will be not available. I'll be out of session. I'll go through the recordings.
Okay. And I will upload the recording session, guys, because
Yeah,
before
two
last
classes.
2 days, I'm not uploading, right? So, so I was engaged with the busy work. So today I will upload all sessions and I will send you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is it clear? Do you have any doubts?
No. One second. In case if I delete that buffer, no, is there any way I can recover that value, buffer value?
Once you delete all buffers, you can't recover, but you
Okay.
need to execute one by one. You are already created a test cases, right? You go and first test case, is there any buffer? Second test case, third test case, and you need to execute one by one, and it will store in buffer value. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And one more
Need
thing.
to
When
come
we
from
are
yeah, yeah, Kiran.
okay. You were saying something. You go ahead and then I'll ask.
Sorry.
You were saying something, and then I interrupted, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, just I'm telling that. Uh, I mean, Rajesh asking me if I delete all buffer, then if I delete a specific one, then what I will do? See, if I delete the specific one, I already deleted partial buffer one. Then I don't. I mean, there is no option like recover option is not there. You need to go partial buffer where I'm storing this partial buffer, right? So you need to execute this once again. See, again it's there, right? Partial buffer one. No, I want to, it is not used for me. So just I want to go there and I want to delete this uh, buffer because there is no use. It will pass, right? There is no buffer, partial buffer one. Got it, Rajesh?
Okay, in
Yeah,
that
got
case,
it.
there
Yeah.
is no recovery.
There is no recovery. You need to go in separate test
Mm.
case what whenever I mean whichever or you executed or you created already scenarios, right? So there only you can go and you need to execute that test case and you will create the buffer viewer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
got
there
and
it.
one
is
more. Mm.
if I delete that file in something like when I mean something I delete that document or something, but there is a recyclable option and in that we can see the recovery option, right? We can restore that file. So in Tosca, there is no that option. So that's why in everywhere in real environment, so please don't use tbox delete buffer without mention any specific value. And it's not. I mean, I'm just telling you that for knowledge purpose, but in real environment, you never ever use this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just giving a knowledge of interview purpose. If they ask you like how I delete all buffers at once, then you just tell them like without mention any specific value, then I will just go to execute that standard module. Okay, it will delete all buffers. That's it. But don't
Okay.
do this in real environment, guys. If you delete this, so there are only 15 to 20 test cases, but there are 100 or 200 or 300 sometimes if it is a big project then 500 600 test cases, right? Then it will delete all buffers. Okay, it is only I mean you are the responsible for delete the buffers. Okay, so don't do that.
Okay.
If you really want to do that, just specifically you need to mention the buffer value.
Mhm. And one more thing, let's say we are going to store the screenshots as per the test cases. So, anyways, we are capturing the test screenshots, and due to this buffer, we are capturing the test cases name as well. So, where are we storing it? In a buffer, we can see and in the test cases, but in a backend, if we want to retrieve it or we want to document it somewhere, so where it is stored in a folder.
So buffers, I mean, see, buffers, why we are using these buffers, it is not a screenshot type. Why I'm telling the example of screenshots, it is for reference. So that's why we are saving in some folder. We are saying some, we take some path and we are storing there because for reference for 10 years for 14 15 years whatever you I mean we are going forward, right? So for that people we are giving a reference, but buffer, why we are using this buffer, we can't we don't need to store in any path. So we there is I mean tosca give a path directly. Okay, you can just store this buffer we are in this session. Okay. So you don't need to any path to store the buffer values. But screenshot, if you want to store any screenshots, is there any separate section to store the screenshots in Tosca? Are we seeing anywhere in Tosca
We have
like this?
that screenshot. We have used one this right screenshot folder as in static method to take capture the screenshots and all. So are we storing it somewhere?
Yeah, screenshots we are storing in separate folder. See, if you want to see the screenshots, so you can see the screenshots of it, but I mean, one by one, you need to see that. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see that screenshots, you need to go test case and you need to, uh, I mean, whatever we use the standard screenshots, right? So then only you can go and take the, you can see the screenshots. But it is a very hectic, right? You need to go and you can see the screenshots where it is there, where it is there. Then just a simple way, if you want something login test case you are using there, and just place it at the standard module, screenshot module. In that, you can take a screenshot and save the file in somewhere in your machines. Just and give a name, okay, file name for your reference, for your identity. Okay. So, for example, login test case, I'm going to give a screenshot name like login test case, uh, login test case underscore login details. What a name? There is a login test case. In that, this screenshot is belongs to login details. So, the file name is login test case login details, and there is a path, right? I have already mentioned. You are not referred or not that standard screenshot, text screenshot. I'm
Yes, yes.
already given a path,
Mm-hmm.
already have given us file name also. Everything is there.
Yeah. So for module level, I was asking. So apart from this also, I, screenshot we are capturing, we have already discussed. But as per the particular test case name or something, so how are we capturing it? That was my question. But you have answered it.
Test case. Test case you are you want to capture.
As like this folder login test case, right? So we have multiple screenshots around it. Okay, so how are we capturing the screenshots which we were taking? So it will take as per in one folder, and it will add all the screenshots in only one folder. So how we can bifurcate each and everything
You
and
can
the name
get
it.
another folder, Kiran. It's a simple way. So here I'm using only one folder, right?
Hmm.
With screenshots, right? Here only there is, I think, here only one folder is there. I mean, if I want to, for example, I have this login test case, I have this best practice test case, I have this test configuration parameters, but there are a number of test cases in my project. But uh, my job, I mean, they are assigning 5 test cases, but I want to store the screenshot, the 5 test cases screenshots, but there are number of screenshots, right? So now here I have created one folder. There is a login test case screenshot, and I have another create. I will create a best practice screenshot. I will create a test configuration parameter screenshot, and I will give the path name. Okay, I will give the path name and I will give the file name. Then I will store in separate folder. Then it will reflect in all machines also, because we are giving a path and we are giving a file name.
Okay, got it.
Got it or not?
No, got it.
Yeah. You don't need to store in one folder. You can create 100 folders. You can create 100 screenshots. Whenever you want to store, wherever you want to store, you can store it. But you just need to give a file path name. You just need to correct, I mean, a standard file name so that you can go and identify. You can go and refer it. There is not
Okay.
mandatory only one folder, and there is not mandatory only one screenshot. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. Rajesh, any doubts?
No, nothing.
Kiran, got it?
Yes, yes, I got it.
Yeah. I hope it's clear. And we'll meet in tomorrow's session with new concepts, guys. So please don't, uh, don't forget to save it, okay? After, whenever you practice.
Yeah, and one more thing. So sorry. So we will be generating random values, right? So like the random text, random. We use regex as well, or random. There are multiple ways to get random values. So is there
Yeah.
any ways to generate, as in orderly numbers like one, two, three, four, or A, B, C, D, or something like that in a in a particular order only.
If you want to particular order, you have to give a static only. Then in random number, random means what? There is a meaning, right? Random means what? So random, the main purpose of using the random, whenever we use like pin numbers, OTP, that generating random numbers, right? Something we are downloading any application and inbuilt, um, they generate one password. Like in whenever you go any security, secured applications, anything you can take, financial applications or any applications, it will generate automatically some passwords, right? So at that time, the random expressions it will use, because in project, um, mostly we are seeing a uh, random numbers or random text and random combination of alpha and numeric, right? So that time it will use random. But we are by using random text or random numbers, we are not it is not possible to generate like order 1 2 3 A B C D like that. So if you really want it, you can use a static one.
No, we have what is as in the formula for as in to generate static number not static as in let's say um I want to generate passwords like um uh, alphabet A1, uh, A2, A3 in that sequence, so that I can also track it in later stage, or if I want to as in add something in an incremental way if I want to use it.
You can use random regular expression. There is a
Yes,
regex syntax.
yes,
You can
but it
use
won't
that.
take increment, right? Plus
Increment,
one
right,
or
means today you are generating 10 and tomorrow you
uh,
want it 11, or you
yes,
want to automatically you want increment, right?
yeah, increment or decrement way, yeah. Anyways,
um, so that time also you need to give i mean you need to give a manually number, like today you are generating 10 and you need to mention 10, and tomorrow you need to want to generate, then you have to give 11. So I think I'm not using that scenario in my past experience.
okay.
Okay. So,
I will
but
also
that is
check.
good question actually, Kiran. That is good question. If I want to generate automatically incremental and decremental, so that is also we'll see. I'll try. Okay.
I was also
But
checking, but I didn't find any solution. But yeah, we'll check more.
I but in my experience, I never ever use that automatically incremental, automatically decreasing the
Hmm.
reduce the number. So okay, I'll try that and please try from your end. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any
Thank you for
questions?
attending. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Then tomorrow we'll catch you guys. Okay.
yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kiran and Rajesh.
Thank you, Ross. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye. Yes, same to you.
Sorry, you're saying something?
No, I said thank you and same to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you,
yeah.
Kiran.
Take
Thank you.
take care. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajesh. Bye. Take care.